Hello. Why am I not... Oh my god, where's the model? I forgot myself. I forgot my face. I forgot my face. Hello. Let me get my face first, and then I can actually, you know, do stuff. Invisible Polly, indeed. I was. Oh god, I forgot that reactive PNGs require you to be on a VC. There I am. Hello, everyone. RGB lights, yeah, RGB lights indeed. Hi Chief, hi Muddy, hi Tuttle, hi, who else was here? Pebbles in the fro, thank you so much for coming. Welcome to my desk. It is kind of fucked up from here. Welcome to my desk. You can see that it's run down from, like, the very bottom. Queen, thank you so much for coming. Desk gaming, indeed. Okay, are y'all ready? I never thought I would be freaking nervous for really revealing my hands. What is this? Like, it's nothing new. It's like my hands look the same as in the model in my hands. Hello, this is my hand. This is a hand reveal. There it is. Hi. Hello. Anyways, how are y'all doing? Bring the books. I will in a bit. I just gotta rip the band-aid off. Hand. There we go. Those are the hands. Now we shall not comment on the hands afterwards. I think the music is not playing. Really? Shoot. Let me check that real quick. Music. Aha! There we go. Should be playing now. Please let me know. Una persona puede saber muchas cosas por las manos. Okay, what can you tell? What can you tell from my hands? I won't reveal all of the hand, just like this part of the hands, because I'm very shy and I'm just like, It is now. Thank you. Streamer has hands, indeed. You know what I can do with these hands? I can hold coffee. This is the coffee of today. Look at it. Has a... Okay, how can I show this? Here. Don't spill coffee on the freaking keyboard. You see there that it has a tiny cup. Oh my god, this could be a reflective surface. Jesus Christ. Let me see your hand lines so I can read your hand. Oh, okay. What does my hand say? Does it say that I'm gonna live long? I hope. I hope it does. Coffee in the coffee. Indeed. Okay, anyways. Are we ready? Because I'm not sure if I'm ready. I think I need to explain the context first. Spill the coffee, trust me, would be funny. It would be funny, but also, I like this keyboard. It's so pretty. So pretty and nice. Tienes la línea de la guerra. What does that mean? The line of war. Hopefully that doesn't mean something bad. Anyways, context. Very much context. I went to a book fair this weekend. There was like this event held in my city, and which is like a giant ass book exchange. So if you have a book, for example, let's say you have this book, which I'm going to talk about it later. You have this book, and you don't want to read it anymore. You're just like, I want to get rid of it. So you bring it to this festival, and they evaluate the content and the condition of the book. And they're like, you know, this book is valued at, let's say, $100 book dollars. Their made-up currency. And they're like, alright, yeah, okay, this is like $100 book dollars, so we're going to give you around, like, that same quantity. So they give you the currency, and they take this book for other people to buy with the made-up currency. So you go into the tents of this festival, and you see, like, a bunch of books scatter around, and there you can, like, choose and buy it with the fake currency. It's a weird economy. Osamu, oh my god. Queen, I just read this today. I just finished this today. I'm just like... I don't know what to think. I feel like I'm missing a lot of historical context, though. But yeah, second book I read of Dasai Osamu. Very interesting way of writing. I like No Longer Human a lot better, though. I will speak about this a bit more in depth later. Haven't read that one yet, though. It's interesting. it's interesting. Like, same style of writing and everything, but I would say it's a less personal piece. Like, you know, No Longer Human, if you have read that one, is a lot more about the feelings of the author because it's semi-autobiographical. It's really sad. In this one, it has to do more about, like, you can still see the influence of his life in here, but it has to do more about, like, what happened after the war in Japan and stuff like that, following a family that goes from aristocracy to a lower class. So, I am missing some historical context. What is the value of book dollars to USD currency? I have no idea. I don't know if this has actual valuable, like, it doesn't translate well. Although, they did tell you that if you were missing some book dollars, that you could pay with real money. I've never seen that in these kind of festivals before. That is completely new. So, I guess if I make some quick math, I think 100 book dollars would be equivalent to $5 or something like that. I like that one. I like sadness. I know. It's so good. No Longer Human is so good. One of my favorite books, if not the favorite one. Do they do it without real money? Yeah, it is a made-up currency. And if you're missing a little bit to kind of just like, let's say that you bring in like 100 books and you're missing like one book dollar, you can pay that with cash. So yeah, never seen that before. Yeah, it's strange, but it works for them. They have made it almost every year, but they did take a pause because of the pandemic, and now they're trying to get it up again. Who gets the real money? The fair? Because not the book owners, I guess. No, yeah, like, all of these books are secondhand, they're from people's homes. The money is taken by the organizers, which is like, I'm not sure if it's a non-profit organization. I am not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure the money that they get goes back to the cost of running the event, because holy shit. It's run by a lot of young people. I would say like people from their early 20s to their mid 30s that are just really, really passionate about reading. So yeah. Only had them at my grade school long ago, and we used real money then. I see. I think you might be talking about fairs like Scholastic. We don't really have those here, but I think I know what they are. Yeah, like they kind of just like put different book stands and you buy those books. Yeah, that exactly, yeah. Yeah, this is a bit different. It's just like an exchange made easier because of fake currency. Might be lurking because it's 3 at night and I will pass out soon. Okay, hope you have some nice sleep and thank you for the lurk. And actually, before you pass out though, I think it's time to introduce the books. I have around 14 books that I want to be like showcasing, talking about, and we're starting big, and by starting big, I'm meaning starting big. I cannot fit this into the freaking camera. Hold up. What the fuck is this? Do I need to move the keyboard? Where do I even move it? Holy shit. Oh, by the way, Rain was here. Hi, Rain. Rain is going to stay in the corner for a little bit. Okay, keyboard, be gone. There we go. First book, giant ass book. Okay, yeah, I can actually fit it here. There we go. I like on these types of fairs, they kind of just put all the books in tables, and I just like looking at the ones that don't really have anything on the cover, because you know you cannot. You don't know what you're gonna find unless you open it, and when I opened this, I was found with the complete works of Shakespeare. And then you realize, oh, that's why this book is so fucking long. It's about 1,600 pages. With a bunch of introductions and all of his plays, all of his poems, everything, right? It looks like a freaking Bible. And even the pages are so thin. They're so thin, like actual Bible pages, you know? Contents has a general introduction, has all of the plays, has poems and some appendices. I don't know what this is. Oh my god, there's so many people. Isam, hello! And that wasn't even the weirdest book at the fair. I know, this is just the first one. I went with Isam on the second day of the book fair. It was super fun. We used to have a little public exchange library thing that somebody just put on a tree, but then in the past few years we started getting really bad windstorms and it got wrecked. Oh, that's sad to hear. But I like that initiative they have of like little posts where you can just like swap out books. I don't personally have that here. They have like something akin to a bench, but they lock that at night so people don't steal stuff, so it's not exactly the same vibe. What if I was to make bootleg copies of books and pass them off as real ones to gain book dollars, then use these book dollars to purchase real copies for using the money from the fakes, and then return those books for a profit and avoid taxation afterwards transfer to USD. I'll repeat this process till they run out of money. Yeah, I think they have not thought about that. Don't let them hear you. Hi Craig, how are you doing? Yeah, I think it's quite easy. Like, if you see a book in a really good state, you can just sell that, and you technically didn't pay for the book in the first place, so it's kind of weird. Got those book postings at my library, made them myself, that's adorable. Okay. Speaking about books and stuff, there is a new redeem, so you can actually make me read about a page of whatever book we're doing. I think they just wouldn't accept the book in the first place. I think that would cost you more money in the end, to be honest. I guess so, because you do have to exchange books in the first place, right? Records of the Life of Shakespeare. Oh god. The Comedy of Errors. Page 420, please. What a good place to start. Okay, 420 is... Wait a sec. Monica, I hope you realize I'm not going to read the entire page because this is like a Bible. I'm going to read up until here. Is that okay? Me about to make Polly read 36 full pages. There are limits to the redeem. I prevented this. I thought about this. Paper, ink, printer, expensive. Oh, I guess, yeah. No, it's like even just the ink itself is expensive. Says here, the third he capered and cried, all goes well. The fourth turned to the toe, and down he fell. With that they all did tumble on the ground, with such a zealous laughter so profound, that in this spleen ridiculous appears, to cheek their folly passion's solemn tears. But what, come they visit us? But they do, and they are up here, they are, no wait. I think I found a fundamental flaw with this, which is I cannot read. They do, and are apparel thus, like Muscovites or Russians, as I guess, their purpose is to parle, to court, and dance, and everyone his love feet will advance unto several mistress, which they'll know, by favor several, which they'd bestow. And will they so, the gallants shall to be tasked. For ladies, we will every one be masked, and not a man of them shall have the grace, despite of suit, to see a lady's face. Okay. I like the rhymes in here. Ringing out loud is pretty hard. It is. Good. I don't like Shakespeare. Shakespeare's pretty funny. I read Midsummer's Night's Dream with Rem. Like, we read it while we were listening to the play at the same time. It is quite funny. It's quite humorous. I'll make children's books. Easy, simple drawings and short. Less ink, less materials, and more profits. But if it has drawings... you're gonna spend more ink. Especially, colored ink and stuff. Lil Al Capone for book fairs. Hi Kino, how you doing? I hate that school always made us to do that. Awful. Like, reading out loud. I think it is necessary, but, you know, you gotta do it without pressure and at your own pace, otherwise you're going to be, like, really nervous to do it. Okay, that is Shakespeare. And I'm gonna put this next to my collection, next to the book of all of the works of Edgar Allan Poe, that it's still there. I hated it. Yeah, I was really nervous when it was about to be my turn, because we took turns, and it's just like, okay, the the boy in front of you goes first, then you, then the person kind of like besides you or something. And I was like counting the lines to see like when am I gonna read. I was so nervous for that. Okay, book 1 done. Hanging in there. Hope your recovery turns out well. Now, if I was to be using stolen materials in the first place, remember, I'm a thief. You probably should not say that on a public stream. You know, they're always watching. What causes more anxiety? The sonic drowning theme. Or the countdown before your turn? I think the countdown, because, you know, I can just restart the Sonic game. Okay, next book we have here is called King of Paris. I actually don't know much about this. I was thinking that I could investigate a little what some of these books were actually about, but for that I need my keyboard again. God, there's just not enough space here. Apparently this is... wait a sec. Is it this one? No. No, I had another book that was like, the author was known for another classic. Okay, King of Paris. I think King of Paris. Yeah, some of these I don't exactly know what they're about. I kind of just picked them up and thought, hey, I'll give this a try, why not? Okay, King of Paris says... why is this in Spanish? Why is this in Spanish? My god, can I not find a synopsis? There we go. Yes? No? Oh god. Synopsis, please! Glowy keyboard. It is very satisfying to look at. I really like it. Excuse me, is there no synopsis for this? Book synopsis, please! Guy Endor. Let me check that out real quick. Guy Endor. Why is it in Spanish? I want results in English, please. Let's... Wow. Okay, well, we can read a review instead of a synopsis, I guess. Review says, what an interesting book. It is called a novel, but it seems to be history. If so, it makes clear how close Alexandre Dumas came to fame from a different kind entirely. Really kept me reading. Okay, so it's about Alexandre Dumas, which I've heard that name before. Who the fuck are you? He was a novelist, and a writer, and he has a son of the same name, which is really confusing. Okay, well, let's try to check it out. Apparently this book might be wrong, but here it says it's from 1956, which is a long time ago. Library of Congress catalog card number, manufactured in the United States, in New York. Some stuff in French over here that I cannot read because I'm not French. It has a bunch of chapters. Duel after a masquerade ball, how to give a horse a ride, a black devil, the omelette masterpiece. I want to check the omelette masterpiece. That's page 51. Like Alexandre Dumas also had a father with the same name. Yeah. They just both had the same name. It's kind of folded here. So it's kind of like talking a little bit about the life of Alexandre Dumas. Huh. I'm not sure I think it's a novelization of his life or something, because it does have dialogue. Yeah, it is a novelization of it. Interesting. I am very curious about the titles of the chapters, because we have one that's called the Omelette Masterpiece, and then we have another one that is called A Duel with God. Does the duel right next to each other? The omelette is 4 and the duel with God is 5, so like, do they have to do anything with each other? Who knows? Anyways, let's go into our next one. We're gonna go into a bit more, something a bit more recent. We got this one, which is They Did It With Love. Sorry for the sticker, I don't know how to take it off. So, this is a murder mystery? Yeah, it was a murder mystery. And it's so strange because it's... Let me check. There we go. I don't know if you can see it here. But all of the characters are in couples. And apparently it's a play on words because they're investigating some sort of murder, and it's like, if you see here, oh, they did it, as in they committed the murder with love. So I'm just like, oh, okay, a couple is responsible. We have 5 couples here and 2 detectives. He's like, Pokemon and omelets are super effective against him. Mayhaps. Just peel the entire cover, sticker free. I mean, to be honest, that wouldn't be so hard to do because this is so frail. It's already falling apart. Okay, we have here, like, it's just a typical detective story, really. And even in the beginning, where was it? Somewhere in there. Hello there. Anime fan, thank you so much for following. I don't know why it didn't appear over there. That's strange. There we go. Come from the land of the British with tea and crumpets. Thank you for bringing your tea and crumpets. They are really appreciated. But if you have some coffee too, I would take that, please. Why me? I would just want to test the bot. Apparently, the bot is not active. Thank you so much for coming, anime fan. Do you like books? Because we are checking out some books. This one, it's a murder mystery. I feel like yeah, there it is. They were really inspired by Agatha Christie. So inspired, in fact, that they even include a quote of her here. It says, to have trusted someone, to have believed it was all lies, by Agatha Christie. Rip. Rip Muddick, they have been bonked. The detectives here are called Detective Peters and Detective Ackerman, like, you know, Mikasa Ackerman from Attack on Titan. That's the only thing I know. The bad thing about this is that it's not exactly divided into chapters, it's divided into perspectives. So, like, here you have the couple Priscilla and Gordon, right? And then another one here. And then another one here, right? And they just, like, shift perspectives, and I guess it's good that they have numbers, but, you know, I guess actual chapters would have been nice, because they're just scattered all around here. I'm not sure how the multiple perspective thing is going to play into narrating the mystery in of itself. I don't know if that's going to reveal too much, but who knows? That is for us to find out later. It was Agatha all along. It was. Agatha Christie Toho reference? Yes! You know what's a Toho reference? This is a Toho reference. There you go. Reimu will now help me review the books. Reimu, what's next? She left. Reimu, what's next? Next is this. I don't know if Sierra Erickson is a very well-known author, but he sure seems like it. Reimu, where do I put here? 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 Are you... there. We got This is in Spanish though. Rainbow's chilling. She is! How do we even translate this? It's called The Doors of the House of Death, I think. I don't know if y'all can see. Maybe y'all can provide a better translation. It was a WandaVision reference. Unfortunately, I haven't really seen WandaVision. Apparently this is something that strikes me as odd for this book, is that there's almost no margins. Like, can you see here? There's almost no space in here, and there's almost no space in here. Compared to the edition of The Setting Sun by Osamu Dazai. This has plenty of space. So much space, in fact. So yeah, letters tiny, no margins, has a bunch of text. This is, from what I can tell, needed to save paper. Mayhaps, it's already pretty thick as it is. This is a kind of like a fantasy book. You know, it's like, it has like pretty complex world building when they include a map. And this, guys, not only have they included one map, we have this one, but 2 maps, but 3 maps, but okay, no, yeah, there's only 3 maps. Not exactly sure what this one is about. I'm going to read this and try to translate this. It only says that it is one of the most popular books related to epic fantasy since Song of Ice and Fire, which is the freaking Game of Thrones thingy? Game of Thrones books? You know what? I cannot translate this. I'm gonna look for the synopsis in the internet. How do you even translate this? Steve Erickson. How do you even... The Doors? Oh boy, is the title different in English? Death book. Oh, okay. I can only see his biography. Steve Erickson was born and raised in Los Angeles. His mother was an actress. His father died in 1990. He was a photographer. Uh-huh. Days Between Stations. No. The Sea Came at Midnight. I'm not sure if it's this one. Tours of the Black Clock. Rubicon Beach. Days Between Stations. Oh god, yeah, the freaking title must be a lot different than this. Let me see if the title is somewhere here. Uh-huh. Translation. Whatever. First edition was in 2012. Yeah. Hello, what is the original title? What's the original title of this? There is none. There's an epilogue. Oh, this is interesting. It has a glossary. Hold up. It has a glossary of terms. Al Capone of the book fair goes to bed and now and not to sell bootleg books for not taxable profits. Alright, maybe another day. Good night, Pebbles. Hope you have a good one. We have here like a small dictionary section, which is like what these words mean. These are kind of like, how do you call it? Not villages. I forgot the name. What do you call this? Oh god. These look very difficult to pronounce. Organizations? It says World of Witchcraft. It says villages. Whoops, why is my camera not working? no. Let's see if it works now. Please work. Ah! Okay, rain was there. There we go. That's a bit better. Camera moment. Yeah, I'm using my phone as the camera. So you can imagine the scuffness that this stream has. Remember everything I said wasn't Minecraft. We'll keep that in mind. The House of Life, the House of Death, the House of Light. Uh-huh. The House of Darkness, the House of Shadow. In neutral. Just neutral. Ascendance has... oh my god, it has so much info. Anyways, yeah, it's apparently World of Magic, of War, and a bunch of magic stuff that I think it will take me at least 2 video essays to comprehend. Dragons. Does it have dragons? Let's see. I mean, no, actually, this is not dragons. These are wolves. So, like, I don't know if it has dragons, actually. We shall see. I mainly picked up this book because it's been a while since I've actually read a complicate-ish fantasy book. The last one I read was called Red Rising, and it was sci-fi-ish, fantasy-ish, because of it's just a guy that lives in a dystopian society on Mars that is like divided into classes, and then he has to go from like the very bottom to the very top to kind of just like dismantle the whole society. And it was pretty interesting, but possibly not my cup of tea. So I have the entire trilogy there, actually. So I wanted to try something like this out. I saw the word dragoness or something. I don't speak the language. Let's see. Gonna see. Topónimos, palabras del idioma de 7 ciudades. Mundo de hechicería. Cargos y organizaciones. Pueblos. Baraja de los dragones. It does say, like, the deck of the dragons, or something like that. And these are, like, the different houses, or, like, divisions of society, I am assuming. A lot of these are assumptions. But well, pretty interesting stuff. I am relatively good condition. I guess the only thing that is not in good condition is, like, this corner over here, but it's not like anyone minds. Okay. It's called Malas, the Book of the Fallen. Let's see if we can find it with that name. My guy, how do you name your books? I can't believe this. Steve Erickson, why? The original title is called Malazan, Book of the Fallen. Okay. Can I change this into English? There we go. Malazan, Book of the Fallen is a series of epic fantasy novels written by the Canadian author Stephen Erickson. The series, published by Bantam Books in the UK and Tor Books in the US, consists of 10 volumes! Excuse me? Oh my god, are there 10 of these? That cannot be, I thought this was a standalone! Beginning with Gardens of Moon and concluding with The Crippled God, Erickson's series presents the narratives of a large cast of characters spanning thousands of years across multiple continents. Holy shit, okay, this was more complex than I imagined. Jesus Christ. Hi, Coco! Oh my god, libros. Indeed! Lots of books. Have you ever read or heard a book called Unwind by Neil Shusterman? That series is one of my favorites. Not quite fantasy, but he has fantasy stuff that is also pretty good. I really like the Skinjacker series as well. I will look that up. I am all for recommendations. I cannot promise I will read them anytime soon, but at least I will check them out. Because god, I've been having some time. I've struggled a bit to actually read stuff. I know, ironic, the librarian doesn't read much. Anyways, let's see a bit more about this series in particular. It says, his plotting presents a complicated series of events in the world upon which the Melassan Empire is located. Each one of the first 5 novels is relatively self-contained, in that each resolves its respective primary conflict. However, many underlying characters and events are interwoven throughout the works of the series, binding it together. The Melassan world was co-created by Stephen Erickson and Ian Cameron Aslamont in the early 1980s as a backdrop of their GURPS role-playing campaign. So basically they just did D&D and they condensed it into 10 volumes of books like these. Holy shit. Well, which number is this one? Please tell me it's the first one. It's divided into 2 parts, which is first the Carcanos trilogy and then the Path to Ascendancy. And this one, Forge of Darkness. It does say that it was released on 2012, so I think this is the first one. Oh, the Carcanos trilogy is a prequel series, so this is a prequel. Oh my god, Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah. Checking that out later. Probably the only book that I ever liked that came from a book study, and then I read the whole series and other books by the author. That's great to hear. Unwind. Let me see if I have seen it before. Have you said what your most anticipated book read is, well, sorry. Have you said what your most anticipated book is to read? Yes and no. I have mentioned it in other streams. I have not mentioned it today. Quick detour for books that I didn't get at the book fair, but that I do have here on my desk, is this one, which is Faust by Goeth. I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's just a play, and it's like where the whole deal with the devil trope came from. It's just a guy who made a deal with Baphomet, I think, and just to attain money, power, and other things. And I was like very interested by that. I wanted to read the Divine Comedy too, and I got overwhelmed, so I didn't. Is it spelled Jif? No, it's like Goeth? It's G-O-E-T-H-E over here. Camera, please. There we go. The edition of this book is like super pretty too. It has this gold details, which I really like. Also pretty portable. Okay, more books that I got. That's a nice cover. Like goth, but goeth. Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, which one do we go for next? We have The Wayward Bus by John Steinbeck? I don't know how to pronounce his name. Raymond, do you know how to pronounce his name? She does not. Anyways. Let's get her out of here. That's how I would read it, Lamau. It's probably correct. Who knows? Phone, please don't die on me. Please! Oh, it's starting to look like a PowerPoint presentation. Anyways, The Wayward Bus. I do know a little bit about this one. The author, John Steinbeck, was actually the guy who wrote the play of Mice and Men. Well, the novel and the play of Mice and Men. Looks pretty nice. The book looks weird, because if you look at the edge of the pages, they kind of seem like torn out a little bit. PowerPoint, yeah. This has become a PowerPoint presentation about books. This was written, or at least this copy was published on 1947. Okay, so what is the Wayward Bus about? Apparently the Wayward Bus is a bus that goes around San Isidro in California, and it doesn't specifically have any plot, I guess. It doesn't really have plot. It's more about the lives of these characters and how the characters are constructed and how their lives revolve around this bus at some point or another. So I thought that concept was pretty interesting, and yeah, that's why I got it. Does it have anything in the back? It does not. It has the character name Juan, which is pretty common because San Isidro is very close to Mexico. So yeah, not much I need to say with the Wayward Bus. Let's see. What else do we have? We have... Oh, actually, this one was pretty funny. It's an actual book that it's like made within this decade. This one is called Game Changer by... Oh wait, isn't this the author that you just mentioned? That's the author you just mentioned. Yeah, total. It's Neil Shusterman. Yeah, I didn't notice. Okay. So, this was a funny story to get, actually. So, on the first day of the book festival, because I was like about 3 days and I went 2 days to the festival. On the second day, I went with a group of friends, and they also brought in their own books. And, you know, they drop them off at the entrance to be evaluated, they get their currency, and then we go see the books that are already in the tent, right? And the thing with these fairs is that they're, like, constantly putting out books that they receive. There he is, lol. Yeah, he is there. So, yeah. So me and my friends get in the tent, we're, like, browsing through these tables of books, and then I see this one, and I'm just like, oh, okay, this is a pretty new book, because a good majority of the books are pretty... you can tell they're secondhand. They have been used for some years. They're old books or a lot of books that nobody wants, etc. And then I see this and immediately just catches my attention because it's like, it looks new, it's in good condition. Okay, what is it about, right? Apparently, it has to do something with traveling multiverses or like multiple universes, something like that. And I read this part, I thought the way the guy wrote was pretty interesting, and I'm just like, okay, I'm taking it. But before I decided I was going to take it, my friend Axel, which is one of the friends I went with, just peeks through my shoulder and it's just like, what you doing? Like, what you checking? And I'm just like, oh, I'm checking this one. And then they told me, they reiterated like, oh, it's about multiple universes. And I'm like, okay, interesting. And I decided to take it, right? And then after I decide to take it, they tell me, yeah, that's one of the books I brought in. So I thought that was a pretty funny coincidence. Then they told me that it was not their cup of tea, etc. That's why they wanted to donate it, see if they could find something else, but they reassured me that I might like it, so I am putting a lot of trust on Axel. I really like this author. Have you read this book specifically? Should I expect something from this one? I really like how they wrote, like from the back only. So yeah. What else? Synopsis says, as a tackle on his high... I can read. No, I see. Could be, the one that you can read next, perhaps. Might look for it at some point, though, yeah. Let's read the synopsis real quick. It says here, as a tackle on his high school football team, Ash is used to taking some hard hits, but that one run in his last game must have knocked him a little loose, because suddenly his life doesn't look quite the way he remembers it, almost like he's in another dimension. Though these changes start small, soon Ash ends up in totally new universes that are almost but not really his own, living in perspectives he's never had to consider before. As Ash tries to figure out how to put his world back the way it was, he begins to question the world he thinks he knows and his own place in it. With masterful prose and powerful empathy, National Book Award-winning author Neil Shusterman weaves an affecting tale of our time with how difficult and how necessary it is to see through others' eyes. Pretty good. Pretty pog. Very excited. He's got a new series, Arc of the Scythe, I think I'll look for next because it seems to be pretty much complete now. That's great. That's very nice. Has it ever happened to y'all that you start reading a book series and suddenly there isn't a next part? It hasn't personally happened to me, but what has happened to me is that I read a book that I think is a standalone and it turns out it has a whole series. I don't read books. Someday I'll make you read a book. This is a threat. I'm threatening you with a cat pen. It's been a good while since I've sat down to read a good novel. La Casa de los Secretos has always been a novel I look fondly to as a history buff. La Casa de los Secretos. What author is that? Because I know La Casa de los Espíritus, and that one is from Isabel Allende. But I don't think it's the same one, right? Sounds good. Seems like that is the one of his lowest rated books, though. It happens. That was me with Unwind Lamau. Yeah. I'm gonna speak about this book later, but there was this book that I read as a standalone, and I loved it as a standalone. And like years later, I figured out they had more books. They were like a series of 4 books, and I'm just like, excuse me? It continues? Oh my god, Polly hand. It is a Polly hand. I should have painted my nails or something. My hands look kind of plain. Maria Lourdes Victoria. I don't recognize that author. But hey, historical novel? What time period is it situated in? Let me get some water. Huh, water is nice. Also, there's cats and stuff in my water. This is how my tumbler looks like. Green should look good on ya. I guess, but I have no green nail polish. Actually, all of my nail polish is kind of dry. Maybe I should buy some later. I have like sparkly nail polish and just like pinkish, which is a color that I don't really like on my nails. Between the Mexican-American War and the Mexican Revolution, I see. That's interesting. I'm not much about historical novels, sadly, because history is complicated for me. Like, it's fine if you just need like a little context, but if I need like actual historical context of like what's happening, which war is which, and who has participated in them, I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna need to read the Wikipedia page while I'm reading the book. I read a few pretty good goofy books. I found out that my favorite book genre seems to be on the run. Heard so many of those while barely even looking for them. On the run? How would you describe that book genre? Like, the characters are trying to escape from something? Bestie, can you paint my nails? I've offered you to give you some of my nail polish and you have refused. So you tell me. Give me high fantasy any day, 100% my favorite genre. I see. Somehow I expected that. It doesn't surprise me that you like that genre a lot. Pretty much, lol. Okay, yeah, like, running away. My man. Hi, Mithril! That's alright. I've always been the odd one out for really enjoying history and history-related stories, books. Really, at least from my perspective, in my own community, it's not that rare that people like history-related novels. It's actually, like, at least here where I live, one of the most popular genres. Just seems to be a trend in books I've read. High fantasy, low fantasy, modern always seems to be there. MC's always being chased. You know, maybe those books are chasing you. You are now the MC being chased by these novels. I'm going to put Reimu over here. There you go. I want her face to be shown. Can you... Do I put her upside down? There she is! Everything by Brandon Sanderson. Dude, I've been wanting to read Brandon Sanderson for the longest time. Like, I found out about the author because he had some sort of like webinar like on YouTube completely free about writing, and I'm just like, damn, this seems like a very nice guy, like a very I don't know, like very kind, and also he the way how do you say, the topics he writes about, I'm just like, maybe one day, and I haven't been procrastinating that. He's a really nice dude. Yeah. What's the difference between high and low fantasy? I am assuming the complexity, although someone correct me. Like, the book we just saw here. Hold up. This one over here. This seems like high fantasy shit. Holy shit. Lots of magic, good living conditions, and the opposite. Huh, okay. He fully funded someone's book on GoFundMe because he wanted more writers in the scene. That's so nice. That's so nice. I love that guy. I'm gonna be that guy because I've seen nobody mention it, but the entire Percy Jackson series, History and Mythos, is my shit. That's interesting. I actually have the first Percy Jackson book in my bookshelf. I haven't really touched it, but it's there. So, I just... If I could show you guys my entire bookshelf, it would be like... It has a bunch of variety, I guess. I don't know. Books that I've gotten at other festivals, books that... Usually books that I don't buy, that I've been given as gifts and stuff. I read a lot, or I used to read a lot, on PDF, because I couldn't really afford books, but right now I have like a bunch of books in physical there. It's great to have variety. It is. But sometimes you just don't know what to read. Okay. We move on to the next one. I think we are almost done. I'm gonna skip a few because these are in Spanish, so they're gonna have a quick mention. Like writing too, never had the patience to complete much though. Someday I'll get something though. Hope you do, because writing is really interesting. I've tried writing back in my day, and just I've known some writers here and there. Rem writes like, well, it's not like he writes, but like he has created stories with the intent of writing, and they're so good. So I'm just like, yes, please write something. And show it to us when you've got something too. It's like me with video games, I have so many different genres, yeah. Oh yeah, hi Polly, hi Mithril. Kind of forgot to type. It's alright, I can't read. Books smell nice at least. They do, unless they have mold. Then you shouldn't sniff the books. I want to know when I get the Luxon series. What is that one about? Luxon. See book. Writing is fun. I do it on occasion. Making art for said little stories is very fun. That is so nice. Like, creating your characters and then drawing them? That's so cool. I don't see... Lux series? Or Luxon? Because I cannot really find it. What's the author? Creative writing is the only thing I ever got good marks on English writing class. I see. You might have the talent for it. Let's see. We have 2 books here that are kind of weird. They're in Spanish, so I was maybe not planning on mentioning them. And they're kind of like academic in a sense. Not exactly academic, but they're a bit more serious. The only time I hate writing is when I have to make 6-page argumentative essays. Those are the worst. I hate essays with a passion. Luxon series first book is Obsidian. Okay, I'm gonna look it up in a bit. So, we have here Narrative Exercises by Jose Balza. This was published by a university here in Mexico, UNAM. Book is weird, but still picked it up. I thought it was actually going to be narrative exercises. Things like, hey, you can do this for writing, you can do that for writing. Speaking about writing, by the way. But no, it's more like his own writing exercises. Like, it's his own thoughts condensed into a book. I read the first page of it and I thought it was a little pretentious. strange for me to say, right? But, you know, I am willing to give it a try. There were at least about 3 complicated words on the first page, and I'm just like, my guy, you don't need to use those words. But he still did anyway, so... I'm not gonna judge him completely until I actually read this. Jennifer L. Armentrout, that's the writer. Okay then, I'll look it up. Oh god, no! They fell! Oh, it's like world building. World building was basically my entire final high school project. We had half a year to do that shit. I still have the document, I'm still pretty proud of that. That sounds so cool. That sounds so cool, like, world building as a whole. World building, actually, when I was writing, is my weakest aspect of writing. Like, world building and plot. I think plot is the first one that I'm the worst at. Then world building. I am more about building characters and building scenes. That's it. Again, I didn't take writing too seriously. But it was fun while it lasted. I haven't really wrote anything in a good while. Next one is here. It's called My Book of Chronos. I picked it up because the title sounded interesting. This is from Rio Sandes Parma. And okay, the way this book is structured is by years, like what happened between this year and that year, and I am not entirely sure if it's some sort of autobiography or if it's the tale of a city or like a community or something. There's a bookmark there, hold up. Is this gonna dox me? It is! That bookmark was publicity for a local business. Like for example here it talks about the 80s or something. Huh. Just by skimming through it, it does talk about history, talks about like the history of a place, I think. So I guess that's the main thing. This is an author from oh, alright. This author lives, let's just say, very close to me. So there's that. He talks about like the states that are close to those communities, let's just say. Okay, next one. Been reading a bit more recently. Recent favorite is Dresden Files. What is that one about? Jesus, lots of recommendations today. Plot is hard. Oh, I didn't read that one. I found a way to kind of get there. Basically, gotta decide on the core points you want and then write a path that connects them. Connects them all. I found that helps most for me. You know what? That is a really nice strategy. Yeah, like, I guess what I think, or when I was constructing my own plot points, it was like that I had isolated scenes, and then I was just like, okay, I don't know how to connect them. Like, mainly I was thinking of dramatic points and stuff like that, so building up to those dramatic points was kind of difficult for me. He's a wizard in Chicago, that's great! Who... let's see, I want to check this one too. Dresden Files. There's a lot of novels. He's a private detective in Chicago? In a wizard too? This is a series of contemporary fantasy mystery novels written by Jim Butcher. First-person narrative from the perspective of the private investigator and wizard Harry Dresden as he recounts investigators into supernatural disturbances in modern-day Chicago. That sounds super fun. He's a wizard in Chicago, it's so sick. There's way more to it, but that's kind of the gist. The first one is good, but by the 9th one, it's so incredibly good. Jesus Christ. What are the longest series y'all have been reading? Because the longest series I've ever read had only like 6 books, and that was... I read when I was about 15, so I had a lot of motivation to read. I don't see myself reading 6 books anymore. Let's see, I want to check out Utsu's book too. What was the author again? Where is it? Obsidian. Ah, Lux. Book 1 from the Lux series. Is it romance? It kind of looks like romance. Aliens are the new vampires. And Demon Black will set your pulse racing. I think it is romance. When we moved to West Virginia right before my senior year, I pretty much resigned myself to thick accents, dodgy internet access, and a whole lot of boring until I spotted my hot neighbor with his looming height and eerie green eyes. Thanks for looking up. And then he opened his mouth. Damon is infuriating, arrogant, staff-worthy. We do not get along at all, but when a stranger attacks me and Damon, literally freezes time with a wave of his hand, well, something unexpected happens. Okay, so it's an alien, and it's kind of structured like a vampire story. All right, interesting. Writing without a plan usually leads to getting stuck. I typically start from the end or middle. Huh. I've seen other writers also start like about from the end and then go backwards. 6 is a lot. Ironically, Unwind would be the longest at 4 for me. Yeah. The book series I read that had 6 books was the Nicholas Flamel series by something Scott. I forgot his name. But the first book was called The Alchemist. And no, it's not The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. That book is cursed. Longest series I've read are the Percy Jackson novels. On the manga side, Hanako-kun. How many books does Percy Jackson have? I am not aware of that info. Technically, if I had finished the Harry Potter book series, that would be the longest series I've ever read, but I kind of just got stuck in the 5th one and decided I didn't want to read anymore. Water time. You can see the inside of my water. I completely forgot I read Harry Potter. Yeah, one tends to forget that, like, you read it when you're like about to be a teenager, like between the ages of 10 and 14, it becomes your entire life and then you forget about it. At least that's what happened to me. Books, never heard of them. Hi, Em. Hope you're doing well. How you doing? That counts too. I guess it does. The Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. I see. How many books is that? Stormlight Archive sounds like a pretty cool name. Let me get that over here. Darkest Minds was also 4 books. That series was fantastic as well. Glad to hear. Man, Brandon, the covers of the Brandon Sanderson books are always so good. I love the art. There's 3 books, but the books look so thick. Holy shit. Oh, there's a comic as well. Interesting. Percy Jackson is 5 books, by the way. Thank you for the info. Doing good. Hope you're unearthed something fun. Yeah, I am about to go into the funny books, I guess. Not exactly funny, but books that have piqued my interest. I've gone through kind of like less interest into higher interest in order, so we're getting into the books that I'm just like, oh my god, I got this. It even got a movie. Kind of sucked though, but I get the idea. It got the idea across as an advertisement for the books, at least. Yeah, adaptations are hit or miss, really. Back in the past, several years ago, I wanted to write a fantasy detective book where my characters try to solve a mystery murder. Okay, that person's soul comes and hires my characters. I lost interest to continue because my ex. Oh, sadly to hear. Hopefully you can like retake at some point. You know, I once met an author. Actually, this story is quite interesting. Once met an author who was the husband of Isabel Allende. Isabel Allende is like a very famous author. She is very influential. She has written a ton of books. I think she's still alive, actually, yeah. And she had a husband. I'm not sure if, as of now, it's her ex-husband. Who knows? But this guy also wrote a book. He actually wrote a couple books. And I went into the presentation of one of his books a long time ago, back when I was about 14, 13. And in that age, I was like writing like crazy. Did I write decently? Of course not, but I was like very excited about it. So I went into his conference, into his book presentation, and at the end he had a book signing. Like, he was selling his own books and he was like signing them. So my dad was just like, okay, why not? Like, I'll buy you a book, right? And then he signed it to me. My dad kind of explained, hey, my child likes to write a little bit. And he told me something very interesting, which is to not get rid completely of any ideas that you have, because you might want to reuse them in the future, or they might have some other use in the future. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So like, if you have an idea and you don't know where to integrate it, or like how to work it out, or just simply is sitting there, just don't delete it, or like don't throw it away just yet. Or are you crossing your arms like those YouTubers? Am I? Shit. Next thing, I'm gonna have a podcast. Need to get lost in a bookstore again. It's been years since I just let myself go and buy books. Buying manga online isn't the same as actual book in a bookstore. Yeah, I love browsing bookstores even though I'm not gonna buy anything. I've gone to Barnes & Noble way too many times, and it's just so nice to be there, you know? YouTuber Polly mode. Oh no. She will rant about books on YouTube. I think that's a great advice. Yeah, the advice is so nice. So yeah, that man was really kind. He was very patient and stuff. I don't know what was of him. I'm not sure if he's still writing. I hope he is. Okay, so next 3 to 4 to 5 books. I got this one, which was interesting. I'm not sure where it's located. Like, it talks about a war and it talks about inventions and talks about other stuff. It says here that is historical fiction. It says 11-year-old Dewey Kerrigan is on her way to live with her father, who's working on a government project for the war in a place that doesn't officially exist. When she gets there, she discovers that everything in Los Alamos is top secret, especially the mysterious gadget her father is building with other top mathematicians and scientists. Dewey is happy to experiment by herself, taking machines apart and inventing new ones, but one girl just won't leave her alone. Suze Gordon, a budding artist who is as much of a misfit as Dewey. When the two of them have to join forces, neither of them likes it, but together they start to discover just how much the gadget will change everything. The war, their families, and their future. It does not specify which war, though. It does. Is it like a fictional war? This one is called the Green Glass Sea. There used to be a bunch of used bookstores near me. Most closed down. Oh, that's pretty sad to hear. There's a couple here in my city, but they're pretty far away from me. Top secret. Apparently so. Does it say? Does it specify? Los Alamos was where the Manhattan Project was, I think. Can you remind me what the Manhattan Project was about? Oh, 1943, possibly Second World War. Okay. Does it say anything? It does not. Coco, you probably shouldn't say that. You probably shouldn't say that on Twitch. They might get you banned. They designed the bombs dropped on Japan on World War II. Oh, I see. That's fucked up. I guess it has to do with that then. Interesting. I'm not sure if the quote-unquote gadget they have to do with the Manhattan Project in of itself, but, you know, might be interesting. Oh, yeah, it probably does. I think I just got myself a little spoiled. That's alright. I love making bombs in Minecraft. Manhattan Project Brain Go bombs. Remember, everything is in Minecraft. I have an idea, but as a big project is already builded, the worlds. Like witches are not really witches, they pray for the real gods for them to lend power and do magic. Oh, they're like the catalysts of the gods' power. That sounds interesting, actually. Been thinking of reading the Witcher books recently. Been reading a surprisingly impressive isekai fanfiction novel based on the Witcher games and books, and somehow managed to include a level system without being generic or overall great. How do they do that? Like the level system. I guess I would have to see it. But yeah, I guess I didn't have it present in my head that The Witcher was based on books. I kind of just knew the game and knew the series. Let's see. Namao. Rem just sent me a message. He says, I'm trying to watch you, but the internet is fucked. Everyone, please give your prayers to Rem so he can watch the Polly stream. Internet raped. And speaking about Rem, I actually got him a book. Well, it's not a book, it's a magazine. But I found it. Polly, why am I in a jar? You're here with me in spirit. Prage. We all pray for Rem. I got him this book. Magazine thingy. Thank you all for your prayers. Rem, are you able to watch now? I hope you are. You can stop your using mouse horizontally, it hurts me. Like this? Sorry, it's the way I use it. Pokemons, indeed. I got them this. It says that is legendaries in singularities or singulars. I'm not sure. It has his favorite Pokemon. And I also got him because I thought, hey, this is kind of like a compendium of information. It would be pretty funny if he kind of just looks through it and just says stuff like, hey, this information is wrong. So I mainly got it because of that. Where is Hirachi? There's Hirachi. Hirachi, one of his favorite Pokemons. And there's also... Where's Shaman? Did I lose him? Oh, there it is. Shaman has 2 complete dedicated pages. Apparently quite popular. He's so cute. He's so tiny. It says that he's about 20 centimeters, so he's like about this size. Well, a lot of things the Witcher series are really... I guess everyone has their opinions, right? She's a huge Witcher nerd, yet she hates it. I guess that's how you can tell it's a true fan. It isn't even horizontal. Sometimes I do use it like this. Like, I put my hand like this and I just like move it around like this. So there's that. I'm not sure if that's more ergonomic or not, but I think it's because of my desk space. Seeing people with literal sideways grips on their mouse. I see. Base. Also base. Shaman is so soft looking. He is! He's a fluffy boy. And also he has an evolution in which he flies. I don't know if that evolution is here though. Is it an evolution or is it just like another type? Because I forgot. Oh no, there is not. Sag. Well, there they are. We present to you legendary and singular Pokemon. Singular, singularity, I'm not sure how this word is translated. This book that you have between your hands is not an ordinary guide. In its pages you will find anything you want to know about Pokemon, the most important Pokemon on this universe. You probably already know them. They possess how do you even translate this? They possess a unique force, very superior compared to other Pokemon. No matter how well that Pokemon is trained, and they have a big influence. I feel like this translation is not great. Spanish is hard. Shaman got Hedgehog mode and Deer mode. Yeah, I was looking for the Deer mode, because the Deer mode flies, but it's not here. I should've got reckoned. This one is inaccurate. Pokemon books are so funny. Yeah! Must remind everyone I have a giant Bulbasaur plush in my room. It's in another form, not an evolution. Ah, okay, yes. Maybe that's why it's not here. Also, can you send pictures of the giant Bulbasaur plush? That sounds adorable. Pretty sure it depends on the item they have. Yeah, I think Rem would know which item specifically, but he's battling the internet right now. She was the whole books. She read the whole. She has a whole book series. Read them several times, so she doesn't like the changes in the series. Ah, okay, so she likes the books, not the series. The characters are completely butchered. That's unfortunate. Again, adaptations not exactly doing their best. Anyways, Pokemon, really cool. Quick shout out to these two that are in Spanish too. We have Virtus Eel by Antonio Muñoz Molina. Not exactly sure what this one's about, but I like the cover and I like that it's hardcover too. It says here, okay, it's an investigation by the author about literature. It says here that, oh, historical novel, social satire. Okay, interesting. Possibly ambience in Mexico by the sounds of it. Oh no, Spain? Let me read this real quick. Excuse you, why don't you have a synopsis or anything? Let me check that real quick. Vitus Eel. That must mean something. Vitus Eel. It means, it's a Latin expression that means happy, that one, that... Wait, no, this is in Spanish, hold up. English. Why am I just getting Spanish results? What the heck? Did I change my location in freaking Google? Beatrice is an adjective that means happy, sacred, holy, and blessed. Happy is a man who. It's a translation of this title. A theme of Latin origin. Okay. Let me see. Antonio Muñoz Molina. Let's see. Has a movie? What? Or some sort of adaptation? It says here that it's a wonderful novel about escaping and memory. Being chased again, I suppose. It is fiction. Was published in 1986. It is about the search for the truth and how we construct our memories and our past from literature, love, and memory. All right. Can you read page 35 of the current book you have right now? It's in Spanish. You want me to read it? I cannot translate it, so y'all have to read it. Y'all are gonna listen to it in Spanish. Huh. Are you? Yes? I'm gonna be so embarrassed. I don't read in Spanish very much. Anyways. Why am I embarrassed to read in Spanish? Why? Help! Mara, can you choose another book? Can you choose another book, perhaps? Or you know what? I can just translate this in Google Translate. Real-time translating is also hard. Yeah, but like I was not intending on translating it in of itself, like just reading it in Spanish, but just reading in Spanish is embarrassing. Do I have the translate app in here? Let me check. Translate, please. Probably more stage fright than actually reading in Spanish. I guess, I don't read in Spanish, like, almost at all. And, like, not even... not allowed, that's what I mean. Okay, take a photo of the words to translate. Okay, here. I have it here. This is translated. Translators and sign language people are impressive. They are. Like, people who can translate on the spot. They have a skill. I'm gonna spend 20 ajudas if you don't rate it. Please have mercy. And also, I'm gonna refund you all of those points. It says here, you can stay here as long as you want, even when you have finished those books, she heard Manuel say. And she moved away from the library door because the voice had sounded very close to her. She saw him leave, crestfallen and more absent than usual, and he was surprised that he did not ask for his hat and coat, like every night, to go for the long walk along the viewpoints of the wall that he had given him. Prescribed Medina Inés? What? The fuck? Inés, he said. I guess translator stuff. Turning from the stairs to look to see if our guest needs anything, but she did not listen to him because Teresa then came from the kitchen and asked him to help prepare Doña Elvira's dinner. Amalia, the other maid, inert and almost lost in blindness, gave them vague orders sitting next to the stove, a broth, a plate of boiled vegetables, and a glass of water that Inés herself used to take to ladies' rooms, thus fulfilling the most unpleasant part of her job, because Doña Elvira scared her. No, yeah, Doña Elvira scared her like some nuns from the boarding school where he spent his childhood, and he looked at her the same way. He spent his days examining accounting books or fashion magazines from the time of his youth with a magnifying glass because he always had the television on, even when he played the piano, and he never looked at it. I estimate that she is almost 20 years old, but Inés says that there is not a single sign of decrepitude? What is that word? In her eyes. She wears a black dress with lace collar and cuffs, and her hair is short and combed in waves in the fashion of 1930. Oh shit, watch further reflection, fuck. The text makes it impossible to tell any details. Shit, is it... wait, face? I guess you can see reflected a little bit. Well, I'm gonna re-upload this. Perhaps. It is the first HandCam stream I make. Give me some slack. Let me check real quick. We couldn't see anything. Alrighty, that's great. Let me... Yeah, it's like, it would look a lot more... yeah, it would be a lot more noticeable if I was completely black or something, but like the letters, yeah, you cannot really see. Haven't seen your face, and no one will. You know, my face just looks like this. This is my face. So, if you want to imagine the Polly face, it's just this. Anyways. I'm gonna put you back here. Can't see a thing. It's okay, Polly. Okay. Very scared for a second, but that's alright. Next book that needs an honorable mention is this one, Literature as Exploration. Not much, I don't need to say much about this because it's just an essay about how literature explores certain themes. Yeah, not much. It says, also kind of how to interpret literature in of itself. Something like that. The color of your shirt, hoodie, and nothing else. Okay, glad to hear. Jesus Christ. Just be careful, lol. Yeah, I will. I always knew you were Remo. Yeah, we have a lot in common. Okay, last book before I actually gush about 2 or 3 books that I have in this pile. I have a pile of gushing books, and then I have the pile of books that I don't know much about. We have the 3rd book of A Series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket. I kind of got this because it looks so fucked up. Like, this book has been very well used. It apparently comes from a middle school in Chula Vista, California. I don't know why. In this festival, a lot of library books end up there, which is pretty strange. What did they do? Wait, who? Who stole this from a middle school? I don't know. You know how sometimes, like, I don't know, in school libraries, kids take out books, they bring into their homes, they forget about it, they graduate, and then they just find it again, and it's just like, I cannot return this now. What do they do to that poor book? Actually, yeah, I don't know. It seems, it's broken here. These green things are actually, like, reinforcing the corners of the book. You have the library code here. Over here has like a bunch of stickers with codes for the library itself, and then you have a couple stickers here that indicates when it was due. It says here that it's from 2009, so that's the thing. Middle schoolers ruin everything. I guess they do. And yeah, I kind of just got it because it just looks so fucked up. And also, I like the presentation, like, it's tiny. And, you know, maybe I could just read the first 2 books in PDF and actually read this one in physical. There we go. Has some nice, oh god. What happened to the house? Chapter 2, the house is there. Chapter 9, the house is not there anymore. Alrighty. It was exposed to teens, yeah. Or like to children, really. And then they sell it instead of returning it. It would feel so guilty. I would literally go to school to bring it back. It actually has happened to me in middle school too, that I got a book, like something about astronomy. I brought it into my house. I graduated. I found it again, and I'm just like, well, I guess I own this now. At least we know it got read. Yeah, a lot, actually. Very, very well used. Okay. Now for the gold mine. Actually, I only have one book for the gold mine. The other ones are books that I already owned, but I still want to talk about them. The gold mine that I found on the book fair is this one. The Giver by Lois Lowry. It's one of my favorite books, holy shit. I've never had an actual physical copy of it. In this one, it looks so nice. Like, it's in English, the condition is great, almost as if it was never touched. It's just, even the sticker, it's, help. Help. This is so good. I read The Giver when I was in high school. And I just thought that it was like a very well-rounded story. Like, what do I mean by this? That it didn't really had, like how can I even explain this actually? Someone bought this and never read it. Yeah, which is a shame because I really like this. It's, how can I explain? It's not like it has a very satisfying conclusion. Like, it kind of does, but it's not a conclusion in of itself because it's pretty vague. This is the book, actually, that I read. I thought it was a standalone, and then I realized it had, like, other 3 books, and I'm just like, excuse me, what do you mean there's other 3 books about this? So, unfortunately, it doesn't follow the same protagonist. Like, the protagonist is there, right? But it's not, it's within the same universe, but it's not the same protagonist. And I really like the characters in this. Just, I don't know. It was just a book that I really enjoyed when I was reading it. It gives me very nice vibes. But what is The Giver about, actually? The Giver is a dystopian story. We have our main character living in this society that is kind of like self-contained. And there are roles assigned to each person when they turn 12. Like, okay, you're gonna work as, let's say, a banker. You're gonna work as, I don't know, someone who makes food. You're gonna work in this, you're gonna work in that. That is decided when you're 12. And then our main character, actually, the work that they have been assigned is to be the quote-unquote giver, right? And of course the child is just like, what the fuck is that, right? And turns out that this whole society can just live as it is without any conflicts, without anything that can affect them, because they have one old man who holds the knowledge of the entire history of humanity, and he is the one advising, like, the people from the government what to do. And so, like, the child is supposed to be the successor of this giver, right? So the giver talks to the boy and just, like, passes on all of these historical events, all these tragedies of humanity, conflicts, war, etc., everything that has happened. And of course it takes a toll on the mental health of the boy, and he's just like, why are we living like this? We are basically, how do you say, hiding the truth from people. And that's where the story starts. Well, more like it continues. That is a conflict to resolve, I guess. Polly HandCam. Yeah, Polly hands. Polly has hands. Otherwise, how could I do handy things? Like, I don't know, drink coffee. Again, this has turned cold. Very, very cold. Love dystopias as long as it is in 1984. That book was way too depressing. I'm actually quite interested on that one. That one and Fahrenheit. I haven't read them. I read the beginning of Fahrenheit, and I don't know what happened that I got distracted and I never finished it. Rainbow is guarding the stream. She is. Anyways. Very, very good find. I love this. I love this. I absolutely love this book. And I think that's the entire haul. Jesus Christ. I got all of those. When am I gonna read them? Who knows? Rainbow is guarding the stream. Yeah. Who knows when I'm gonna read them? But at least I have them there. If I'm feeling a certain way and I wanna read a certain genre, they're there. Okay. There are a couple of books I actually want to talk about that are outside of the books that I got. But first, water. And talking for a little bit. Ah, water is nice. Where do I even put it? There it is. Okay, what books do we have? Well, I already talked about a little bit about Faust. That is there. I bought this a long time ago. Stay hydrated, especially like me. Yeah, I need to stay hydrated. Oh, hold up. They're calling me. I'm gonna be your beast. Hello, I'm back. They show them oh, wait, what? Hello? I think I muted the wrong one. Oh shit. Oh well. Anyways, what was I gonna say? They show them Pokemon book. I did. It's so nice. But yeah, I did skim through it. We wanted to see if Shaman's other form is there, and then we kind of just like discussed what object does he need in order to transform from tiny puff shaman into reindeer shaman. So if you know, please let us know. Managed to complete the entire To Kill a Mockingbird book study without reading a single page. How so? Non-fiction, depressing slice of life stuff, probably the only genre I don't like. I read to escape, not to hear about boring people doing boring things. I get it. Yeah. If that ain't your cup of tea, then yeah, might as well. Like, I feel like those kind of types of books that are kind of like depressing slice of lives, looking at you, the setting sun, are more to show certain themes and like buildings of character and showing a more realistic setting and stuff like that. But yeah, all the answers were online. I see. That explains it. It's a grassy deal. I don't know what grassy deal. Yeah, a special flower that you give to people as gratitude. Oh, that's adorable. That's adorable. Okay, anyways, Catcher in the Rye. Catcher in the Rye is a book. I didn't pay attention to it for the longest time because I was in my phase of like, it's a classical book, it's probably going to be boring. And I haven't read it. I read just like a tiny section of it, and I found an audiobook actually that has like perfect voice acting for this book, because then I read the first pages. I read the first pages of this book, and the main character has an attitude that I completely love. It's kind of like, not I guess rebellious is the closest way I can describe the character. Kind of like, he doesn't give a shit, but he does give a shit. It's a coming-of-age story. I still don't entirely understand the whole plot of what is it about because I haven't read it, but it's just the attitude, the way he narrates, it's just so good. My book says, Matsu, thank you so much for coming! I'm actually on my last books, but thank you so much for coming. We're speaking a little bit of The Catcher in the Rye. Haven't really read it, but I just love the attitude of this guy. Okay, I'm gonna read it a little bit, because like, holy shit, where is it? Catcher in the Rye. It says over here, if you really want to hear about it, the first thing you probably want to know is where I was born, and what my lousy childhood was, and how my parents were occupied and all before they had me, and all that David Copperfield kind of crap. But I don't feel like going into it, if you want to know the truth. In the first place, that stuff bores me, and in the second place, my parents would have about 2 hemorrhages apiece if I told anything pretty personal about them. They're quite touchy about anything like that, especially my father. They're nice and all, I'm not saying that, but they're also touchy as hell. Besides, I'm not going to tell you my whole goddamn autobiography or anything. I'll just tell you about this madman stuff that happened to me around last Christmas, just before I got pretty run down and had to come out here and take it easy. Reading is hard. I mean, that's all I told the DB about it, and he's my brother and all. He's in Hollywood, that isn't too far from this crumby place, and he comes over and visits me practically every weekend. So I'm just like, freaking... the attitude of this guy, I just love it. So, definitely looking forward to read. Actually, it's, I think, the next book I'm gonna read, because I found the audiobook and I got really excited about that. Let me check the comments real quick. Excuse me. I thought I heard something. Anyways, about depressing stuff, I read a sci-fi book called Integrated. At one point I put the book and said, okay, this is too much for me. Oh, you put down the book. After 2 minutes I continue. It happens. It happens. Freaking, No Longer Human by Dazai Osamu is depressing as fuck. It's so depressing. But I couldn't put it down. I guess it was the opposite case for me, in which it was like so sad, but it was sad in a way that I could just not stop reading it. Audiobooks are great. If only I didn't have ADHD. I literally can't listen to them without having to go back every minute or so because I completely missed what I said. Yeah, same. What I do, and I was a bit ashamed of doing this recently until I kind of realized that, oh my god, I'm reading like what? Who gives a shit, right? And what I do sometimes is that I have a lot of attention issues when it's like reading just like this. I would need total silence, I would need to be comfortable, and I would need to like process every single word in my head. And sometimes I get distracted by things like, oh, I don't know what that word means, I don't know how to pronounce this name, or like I just give voices to the characters and that distracts me, right? So what I found that works for me, because I cannot listen to audiobooks on their own too, I have the same issue as you, is I just put the audiobook and then I read it at the same time with a book in hand, and I'm just like, if someone was reading out loud to me and I'm just like following along, and I feel like that takes a lot less concentration, and I enjoy the book fully still. It was great. I read The Setting Sun like that, and speaking about The Setting Sun, Jesus Christ. It's an interesting book, never been adapted into a movie as the author refused it. He refused it to let it be adapted. Really? I feel like that is a good decision. I feel like that is a good decision. Although, how old is this author? When was this published? Hold up. This edition is from 2021. Salinger, J.D. Salinger is from 1945. I think. Alright. That's interesting. But yeah, adaptations. Speaking of adaptations, I didn't touch upon this, but like, there's an adaptation of The Giver by... I don't even know which director, which studio made the adaptation of The Giver, but it was so bad. It's so bad. Please don't watch the movie of The Giver. It's completely horrible. Anyways. Like, they altered the characters, they altered the setting a little bit, they altered the main plot line. They put a freaking love interest into it when there's none. I hate it. Okay, rant over. Finish the book, but in one point what happens to a poor character is just damn. I guess it's pretty bad by the looks of it. Kind of the opposite. I'm fine with reading, usually no matter what it is. I need subtitles or I fail to understand words or miss them completely. Yeah, in movies specifically, I need subtitles even if they're in the same language. Possibly concerned the adaptation would be complete as didn't want their work insulted. I mean, of course. You know, that's what happened to The Giver. I'm pretty sure Lois Lowry was not happy with how the movie turned out. I don't know their opinion. But oh well. Setting Sun! Why Osamodasai? Excuse me. Actually, for comparison's sake, I'm gonna get No Longer Human too. Where is it? Where is it? It's not here. There it is. So I read No Longer Human earlier this year. I feel kind of bad saying this, but technically I've only read these two books this year. I've been like really busy, and again, this concentration issue that I had. So I read No Longer Human about 5 months ago. Again, one of the best books I've ever read. It's really good. Really depressing as well. It's a semi-autobiographical book of the author's life. It's of course like a lot of the things are changed because of you know, he didn't want to make too personal, I suppose. But no, yeah, it details the life of this guy like pretty well. At least not from a facts standpoint, even though it does include a lot of facts from his own life, but from a feeling standpoint as well, from a mentality standpoint, which is really interesting. It's a very introspective book into what he felt before the last years of his life. I think this was released in like a year or two later he died. By, you know, you can imagine how he died, right? So, if I was having a book adapted, I would basically require a clause in the contract about book accuracy and overall quality, because the adaptations are often depressing. Yeah, a lot of people do want that. It's just that sometimes you have to compromise because there's like budget concerns and there's like all this capitalist kind of stuff, investors, and then it's just like, okay, this scene cannot be adapted the way you wanted it to because of limitations, so we have to compromise it or change it, time constraints, etc. I'd rather have no movie. Yeah. That's what Salinger wanted. So yeah, I want to write a story with myself, with Tsubio. Interesting. Sounds like an interesting project. Anyways, The Setting Sun. Like, that was my introduction to Osamu Dazai as an author. And then I have the Setting Sun, right? The Setting Sun, I would say it's a bit more factual. Like, it has a lot less introspection than the first one. And it's understandable because this is not autobiographical, this is actually fiction. Historical fiction? Question mark? It details the what happens with a family in Japan after the war in their kind of like how they fall from aristocracy into a lower class. Like, they're rich, they have like a high maintenance kind of life, and then like after the war, shit happens, they don't have any money, and just like they have to move. You have the main character, which is a young woman. She's about 29 years old. She just got divorced and went back to living with her mother. And it's a pretty small family. It was like the father who passed away, the mother who is there, it's kind of sickly, the brother who went to the war that they don't know if he's alive yet or not, and just main character, right? It's interesting in... I just finished this today, by the way. So, it's... how do I explain it? You can see a bit of Osamu's thinking within the characters. Like, you know how Dasa is like pretty depressing, right? He's just like, he feels like he is unfit to be human, really, like title of the other book. And you can see that on some moments specifically of the main character when she makes a lot of mistakes. She's like a very sensible woman, like very affected by emotions, so you can see that as well. But you can also see you can see a lot of his personality on another character. It's a male character that has like a very... How can I say this? He likes to do a lot of debauchery, right? He likes to do a lot of debauchery. He does drugs, he does alcohol. It's he's pretty much a mess. And then you kind of realize through some letters that he writes and stuff that, oh, he's actually coping with some stuff. And I'm just like, who does that remind me of? God damn it. But yeah, I would say it's a lot more about the core themes of Japan changing as a country, first and foremost, the class system changing, and also how these characters represent the changes in the country in of itself. Like, each character kind of like represents a part of this change. Like, for example, the mother of the main character represents like the ideal Japan with its ideal traditions and moral system, and the main character herself, it's kind of like the revolution from those from that line of thinking, if that makes sense. Of course, I don't think I'm making much sense. Read the book, it's pretty nice. Although I did not get as emotionally invested, it's still pretty good the way the author writes. That is the end of my review. Please read them. I need more water. Anyways, next book I'm gonna read is Catcher in the Rye. Hopefully I can actually read it, because who knows. About the World War II stories, Grave of the Fireflies. I know it's not a book, but yeah. Grave of the Fireflies sounds familiar. It sounds familiar, but I forgot what it is about. Alright. I just got here. I have like a bunch of just like... My desk is so disorganized. Oh, it's Ghibli! Oh, okay. Oh no, then I think I had another movie in mind, because like... I did hear about the title, but I didn't know what it was about. I have Paradise Lost by John Milton. It sucks sometimes when the plot of the novel is so good, but the way the author writes is completely ruins it for you. I guess it happens. I would say that the setting sun, the way it's written, it's pretty good. It's just that the plot doesn't move along that quickly. It's more about flashbacks of the characters and, you know, what they think and all of that. It's more of a reflective piece rather than, you know, a fast-paced plot, which is not everyone's cup of tea. But, oh well, I've got a cup of coffee. Like, yeah, I did not, I guess sometimes it was a bit too slow for me, but I do like that transition of, for example, this author does a lot of, he takes a very, common thing, or like a very normal thing happening. Like, for example, the flowers are blooming, or like you find a snake in the garden and stuff, and then you go into a flashback of the character of like something that happened to them relating to that object or something happening with that, and it kind of just builds on these characters, what they think, what they have done, and how that past has affected them in the present. So yeah, only had it a few times, and not particularly that the author is bad, just not my vibe. Yeah, I completely understand. There's just like a lot of variety. Also, John Milton. This book is falling apart. This book was like 50 pesos? Oh god, it smells weird. Like, it smells good, but also smells weird. Yeah, I had this... how can I say this? This objective, this goal of the year that I went to read Paradise Lost, Faust, and The Divine Comedy on 2023. That didn't happen, but that just taught me that I need to be a bit more realistic with my goals, I suppose. Reading this was... like, trying to get into the Divine Comedy, trying to get into this, it's actually kind of hard because of the language they use. It's pretty complicated, I suppose, because, again, they're old-timey novels and stuff. Old book smells are the best. They are! Just don't smell it if they have mold. Read a lot of translated light novels online. It's kind of hard to get past how they are usually a few phrases the translators use over and over and over. Yeah... it happens. Might just be a thing of the translation itself, though, and not the author. Don't sniff the book. I will sniff the book. Confession, I've never read Paradise Lost. Really? Divine Comedy is great once you realize it's just one man's revenge fic. Yeah! I've been telling everyone this. The Divine Comedy is a fanfiction. It's just the author's self-insert with his own favorite author. It's like... I don't know, if it's words coming out of my mouth, difficult. It's as if I wrote myself going through hell with Dasai Osamu by my side, and he's just like, you're pretty cool, and I'm just like, I know, right? Those are ambitious goals. Yeah, sadly I never really got around to reading them, but, I mean, they're still there. I still want to read them. It's just, possibly I shouldn't be so strict with my goals, otherwise they're going to be like a bit overwhelming for me. Read that, I read one that used none other than at least once a chapter. It was yeah, that can get pretty, how can I say? Not boring, but you can get tired pretty quickly. Hi Magico, how you doing? Good morning. Good morning to you too. It's good night over here. Translators aren't always good at writing, and that tends to impact the quality a lot sometimes, but who am I to complain? It's free. You know, this is why we need to learn at least 10 languages to read every single book in the original language. Like, if you can. Oh, thank you for the stretch redeem, by the way. Stretch. You can actually see me stretching. If you can, if you're able to, always read the work on its original language, because a lot of the nuances of the language, a lot of the details in the story can and possibly will be lost to translation, even if the translation is really, really good. I was actually kind of afraid when reading Dasai Osamu's books, because they're from Japanese to English, and I'm just like, you know how complicated Japanese is? You know how like many details and wordplay the Japanese language has? I'm just like, I guess I was a little afraid that a lot of it was going to be lost, but I did have a good experience reading them and all of that. A lot is lost in translation. It is. It definitely is, but I am not going to learn Japanese in at least 10 years, so might as well just read the translator and call it a day. Let me just mute something real quick. There we go. I think those are all the books that I wanted to talk about. Magica, I'm so sorry, but you have caught us in the last bit of the stream. Yeah, I don't have, like, unless I check my bookshelf, but like the books that we have gotten from the fair, we've already gotten through them. Sag, don't be sad, please. I will hopefully talk more about them when I actually read them. Want to learn Japanese. Really? Then I would actually have a good reason to buy and support the authors. It's really hard when the only option there is a language I don't speak, even though I feel kind of bad about pirating from time to time. Yeah. Yeah. I guess it's a bit complicated. But, oh well, sometime we will learn Japanese. You know, there's like these words that do have like a lot of wordplay. Like, this is a terrible example, but I think Bakemonogatari has a lot of wordplay. Oh no, and also freaking, what was his name? Oh, it's Rem's favorite anime, what is it? No! Oh, it's Sayonara Setsuwa Sensei. It's an anime, right? It's not a written work, but it does have a lot of Japanese wordplay. And if you don't know Japanese, you will need to read at least 3 footnotes of translator's notes. Which is a bit of a shame. You can take a look at the recommendations if you like to go a bit longer. Maybe. I did look at a couple of them. Let's see. I just heard Bakemonogatari, yeah. I haven't watched it, but I have heard that there's a lot of wordplay involved. Polly, it's also manga, I guess, yeah. Manga is literature. It is. Thinking about sharing the Utsubu story, but I have to translate it. Alright, if you would like, you can post it in our Discord, we'll give it a read. Let's see. A lot of people consider that comic books are not exactly reading, but they do have words. It's just another way of storytelling. It counts. It's alright. A lot of things just don't translate. Yeah, unfortunately. I'm gonna check. I would disagree. Really? How so? What's your argument? Have to warn you, I translated with Google Translate. I can deal with that, it's alright. I read quite a lot of manga. I mean, manga's nice. Can't wake up any earlier to catch these streams. At least the VOD is there. It will be there. Don't worry. The worst adaptation in all of anime is English Naruto. Really? How true is this? Like, I don't watch Naruto at all. Unfortunately, it's not of my interest. Books are books. If it has words, then it counts. It does. Yeah, again, manga is literature. So yeah, like things like graphic novels, manga, etc. I do consider them like part of reading. But then again, I don't think we should be... we shouldn't care that much of what we consider literature or not literature. Just read or like enjoy whatever piece of media you enjoy, and that's it. Enjoy things. People can enjoy things. Since there were no substitute for his catchphrase, he just says, "Believe it." What is his catchphrase? Like in Japanese. English Yu-Gi-Oh is worse. Oh no. Oh god, let me just play it over there. It's Datebayo, I think. No, yeah, haven't heard about it before. Datebayo, believe it. Isn't it more like, that's it? I don't know. I haven't watched Naruto. Rem has watched Naruto. Meaning it will happen, or I will make it happen. I guess it's not as catchy as Believe It, so it got more localized rather than accurately translated. 4Kids butcher a lot of animes. Pain! There are many worse, more obscure anime that are completely atrocious. Oh, it sounds funny though. It's just getting 4Kids, yeah. I'm gonna put Rame over here. Wait a sec. The bow doesn't stay up. There she is. I'm trying to think of any, like, mistranslations that I've seen, but none of them actually come to the top of my head. I haven't really seen anime in a longest time, which is unfortunate because I am anime. But yeah, maybe we'll watch it soon. It is torturing Reimu time. No, don't torture her. I am anime. I mean, yeah. Wait, that here. This is anime. Right? Being a VTuber is becoming anime yourself. So, I guess there's that. Okay, I think I am going to call it a day because my throat is getting a bit sore. That's what a lot of talking does to you. Was Frieren manga anime mentioned during the stream yet? It has not. I really want to watch it. She looks adorable. Toho is literature. Technically, yes, because there's like 2 books about it and a lot of manga. I watch a decent amount, usually the more generic stuff though. That's alright. You know, a lot of people consider Reimu generic, but I love her, so like, no shame in that. Okay, Reimu, you're gonna stay here. Okay, let's see if we find someone to raid. Who do we have here? Okay, do y'all want to go to Ratropolis? Or do you wanna go to... You wanna watch Suika? Rat Town. It is rats or watermelons. Decide. Waiting for all the episodes of Frieren to come out. I read a lot of the manga. It was great. Yeah, I've seen small clips here and there. It just... It seems very nice. I wouldn't call it wholesome, but like... I don't know. I feel like I'm missing a lot of context of the anime itself. I was crazy once. Oh no. Crazy! I was crazy once. It put me in a rubber room. A rubber room with rats. Lock me in the rubber room, chief. Locked. I don't have a lock or jail command. I have a bonk command. But I don't think that's working right now. It is not. No! Son edit what she told a demon to shit herself or something. Jesus Christ. I've seen a lot of memes of her like grabbing something like an object. That object is edited and she's like, ah yes, men love this. Yes, that is really funny. Bonk. You have been bonked. Well, not entirely because the command is not working right now. You have been saved. Okay, we're gonna go to Ratropolis. We're gonna go raid Yang. Let's see what she's doing. Well, she is organizing a society of rats. That's what she's doing. Let me just write her name over here. Plans for next stream. Let me check. Plans for next stream. Possibly Asmo collab by next week. OSRS for Saturday. And I'm planning maybe on Friday to stream something. I still don't know what. Possibly continuing Persona 3 Portable because I need to finish that before February. And at the pace that I'm in, I am not finishing before February. So might as well just do our best efforts. Rats, rats, we are the rats. We are the rats indeed. We will become rats. Thanks for the stream. Thank you all so much for coming. Got pretty nervous because hands. You can see my hands, but oh well. I'm gonna ask Mimiru what she read in my hands because she said something really worrisome. Enjoy Salinger. I will try. Thank you for the stream. Thank you so much for coming, Monik Tuttle M. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It was really, really fun. I had a lot of fun, and I am also quite exhausted. So hope y'all have some nice rest. Crank, thank you so much for coming too. And I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.